Anyway, let's get into it. Oh, and original video is always linked in the description. Let's check it out.
And right of the political spectrum, and seeing one of his highest budget. In just a matter of months, The Rock has enraged the entire WWE community, alienated people on the left and right of the political spectrum, and seeing one of his highest budget movies ever flop at the box office.
Which, by the way, when it comes to this stuff, political stuff, anytime a celebrity speaks on anything like this, they're always going to alienate people.
Political spectrum, and seeing one of his highest budget movies ever flop at the box office.
I have a lot to say about this, by the way. I have a lot to say about this.
He's also been exposed for a disgusting habit he has that seriously put off his castmates and crew. All of this has caused more than 3 million people to stop following him on Instagram, and it all started at the beginning of this year.
That's a lot. Well, I mean, I don't know how much he has. Hold on, let me check how much. Well, it says right there, 395 million followers. So 3 million followers is a lot, but for someone like him, I guess it's really not.
On January 23rd, 2024, it was reported that Dwayne had joined the board of directors of TKO Group Holdings, the company that owns the WWE and the UFC.
That's a terrible decision, but okay.
As part of the deal, TKO granted him full ownership of his trademarked in-ring name, The Rock. This was a full circle moment since the WWE was where Dwayne got his start, and he took to Instagram to celebrate. No one took issue with his appointment to the board, at least not at first, but that all changed on February 2nd, 2024.
I personally wouldn't have let him join the board, just solely because of like the financial moves that he's made for himself, but also how he's doomed every project that he's been a part of lately. I don't know why they would do that.
At the time, Roman Reigns was world champion in the WWE, and he had been for 3 to 4 years, making his world title reign the 4th longest in WWE history. Of course, we all know the WWE is staged, so the entertainment value doesn't come from real stakes like in MMA or boxing, but from the storylines and spectacle. Yeah. And for a while, the question on everybody's lips was who will be the one to dethrone Reigns. It seemed like the WWE was setting up a wrestler called Cody Rhodes as the guy to do it.
Which I haven't kept up with any of the wrestling stuff, but I know for a fact that wrestling does have good storylines, especially like if you grew up in the 90s and the early 2000s, you got to see a lot of or the 2000s, I guess. You got to see a lot of really good storylines. That's around the time I stopped watching, is when I got into high school. And there was so many good storylines growing up. Now everything to me seems a little too commercial. I don't know if that makes sense, but I hope that makes sense.
Cody had been in the spotlight for a couple of years. He's the son of wrestling legend Dusty Rhodes, who often partnered up and wrestled alongside The Rock's dad in the 80s. Dang. There's a lot of history between Cody, his family, and the title, as his father was never able to hold it. So it felt like the natural story for Cody to defeat Roman and achieve what his father never could. He had a chance in 2023 after winning the Royal Rumble, as he faced off against Reigns at WrestleMania 39. However, Cody lost the match and had to spend the following year working his way back for a potential rematch. By February 2024, all the pieces were in place for him to get a second shot, as he'd built himself back up and won the Royal Rumble for the 2nd year in a row. Traditionally, winning the Royal Rumble automatically earns you a title shot, so Cody vs Roman was pretty much set in stone, but that was until The Rock entered the picture. On February...
I love that photo, the picture that the animated, I guess, drawing, whatever.
2nd, 2024, just days after The Rock joined TKO's board of directors, the WWE held a SmackDown event where he made a surprise appearance. Cody was the one to introduce him, after announcing that he wouldn't challenge Roman for the title at WrestleMania 40. This didn't make sense given everything had been building up to that, and you could tell from the look on Cody's face that he wasn't happy about it. He ended up leaving the ring and The Rock and Reigns faced off.
And for a second, it seemed fine because the crowd in Birmingham popped, big. Rock and Roman had their stare off. Everyone in Gorilla afterwards were, being, okay, great, we're on track. And then, as you voiced, the vitriol came.
Felt so out of character when Cody left the ring. You win the Rumble, almost beat Roman last year, wants the title for his father, but gives it up to The Rock. Sad. How will they market next year's Rumble match? 30 men will enter the ring, but only one will get the chance to give up his title shot to Dwayne. Another part-timer comes to take a spot they didn't deserve from current hard-working talent once again.
That, it's funny, I'm not even invested really into wrestling, But how did he get this position? Like, I don't understand how much power he has to be able to do something like this in the wrestling in the WWE. Because this just seems like, again, like just reading some of these comments and talk and listening to them, it makes almost it almost is like, let's take the worst possible option we can make. Let's make the worst possible decision we can make in this situation. It just doesn't make any logical sense from like a business perspective, content perspective. Like, where was this coming from outside of, I guess, the Rock's ego? Like, I just, and then even then, like, how does he have that much power to insert himself that hard? I just, I'm not trying to sound confused on how everything works. It's just, to me, it doesn't seem to make any sense as an outsider looking in, how someone could get that much power to then make this shitty of a decision. I just, I don't know. Call me uninformed, but I just don't understand it.
As often happens, it was a case of The Rock's main character syndrome causing problems for the people around him, and some reports even claimed that he leveraged his new position on the board to take Cody's place.
Which doesn't make any sense. He's old. This is not... What is he going to do? Wrestle for like 2 or 3 years and then be done? Like, I don't understand.
The clip from the event has around 520,000 dislikes on YouTube.
Jesus Christ. Hey, wrestling fans, hey, way to show out. Good. That's a lot of dislikes.
Making it the most disliked video in WWE history. The wrestling community was not happy, and they rallied behind Cody. But on a podcast appearance he made just a few days after the event, The Rock sent them a scathing message.
I love Cody. I love his passionate fans. Then there's the other passionate fans of Cody.
Yep.
And they're called what's that? Oh, Cody Crybabies. Yeah, that's what they're called.
Okay, all right. Okay, got it. I didn't know the name that was coming.
It was the Cody Crybabies,
Yeah, okay.
and these are grown-ass men. And Cody gotta finish it.
This dude's so out of touch with the WWE. Like, as somebody who has a community that's growing right now, one, if someone were to attack my community, I'm defending my community. But at the same time, if I'm in a community that shares a community with other people, I'm not going out of my way to attack those people, because it just, it doesn't make any sense. Like, what does he get out of this, doing this? Is he just trying to dismiss criticism? No, it's not. That's not what it's happening. It's just, it's that main character syndrome. Like, this, I just don't understand. I know I keep making this point. I just don't understand how this issue is getting worse. How do you keep giving this person so much power?
His story. He had to finish his story right now. It's like, wait a second, hold on. Hey, Dad, you want to go outside and play catch with me? Not now. Cody's and I'm upset. The wife comes in. Hey, honey, do you want to go have sex? Not now. Cody's got to finish his story. At the end of the day, look, you got the Cody Crybabies and you have the Cody fans and then you have Cody himself, and there's a clear distinction between the three. But The Rock says this: those Cody Crybabies, the ones for every 10 tweets, they're shoving a chicken McNugget in their mouth. For every 20 tweets, they're shoving 2 McNuggets up their ass.
What?
The Rock says this: all you got to do is sit back, know your role, shut your mouth, and enjoy the ride that The Rock is going to take your candy asses on. So hashtag that. Hashtag shut your bitch asses up. Hashtag Cody Crybabies.
Yeah.
That's super cringe.
He was leaning into it, and on February 8th, it became clear why. During a WWE event held the week after The Rock's return, Cody went back on his decision to hand the title shot over to The Rock, announcing that he would be the one to face Reigns at WrestleMania 40. In a turn of events, The Rock turned heel, which is essentially a bad guy in wrestling, and he joined forces with Roman Reigns, setting up a tag team match featuring him and Reigns against Rhodes and the wrestler Seth Rollins. This was a sharp pivot from the WWE due to the immense backlash they received from fans.
Yeah, that's... Unless it was all planned, but knowing The Rock, I can't wait till we get to the Red One movie part. I have a lot to say about that.
allowed Rhodes to maintain his place in the WrestleMania spotlight and continue his feud with Reigns, while not completely sidelining The Rock. But of course, this never would have needed to happen if The Rock didn't interfere in the first place. It turns out The Rock's heel turn was actually his idea, which he came up with after realizing that fans wanted to see Cody face off with Reigns and not him. He also proposed a tag team match and wanted it to be the main event at WrestleMania 40, thinking he could at least share the spotlight if he couldn't have it to himself. But
that part is just, that's so stupid. I think he's like in this like life crisis where no one really like he's popular and stuff, but no one is like, oh, I want to see The Rock, I want to see The Rock, I want to see The Rock. Like I haven't seen anybody do that.
His writer talked him out of it.
He then proposed the tag match as the main event of WrestleMania, and I said, I love the tag match too, but that can't be the main event. That could be night one main event, but I don't think there's a world that exists anymore that can't end with Cody beating Roman for the title on night two.
The Rock ended up conceding, allowing Cody to have his moment against Reigns, but you can bet he wasn't too happy about playing second fiddle. It all worked out in the end, and Cody won the title from Reigns, but The Rock's ego came very close to derailing the whole thing. Imagine being able to bring your ideas to life with stunning videos like your favorite creators. Videos of professional quality that you're excited to share with others. And what if I told you you could do all this, no matter your skill level, with a super intuitive tool? Well, now you can with in-video AI, which will do all the heavy lifting and put you in the director's seat. Take a look at this example of a man cooking kimchi at home, generated entirely by in-video AI. Everything from the ingredients to his movements look extremely realistic, and the video was generated in just minutes using
this I don't know if that's AI, but it's definitely B-roll.
a single sentence prompt. You can imagine the number of different applications this could have to suit any creative vision. While your generated video plays, you can edit it in real time with simple prompts, easily adding new elements to the mix. Plus, in-video AI's voice cloning feature allows you to narrate the whole video using your own voice. Unlike
So this is what this guy did, basically.
traditional video tools, every few posts is him promoting some product, and whatever it is, he shills it like it's the best thing since sliced bread. Voss Water, Papatui, Terramana Tequila, Under Armour, Zoa Energy, the list goes on and on.
I actually like those at first, but they're just not good for energy, low-key.
He makes a shitload of money per post, so it makes sense why he does it, but it feels very disingenuous. It comes across like he's just trying to secure the bag, and a well-known—
You know what it is? So Shaquille O'Neal does this, but he does this in a way that's like uniquely him. Like it's like, oh, obviously Shaq is about to do, he got paid to do a commercial, but the commercial is not like him pretending to be someone he's not. Like it's his humor, it's his style, and so for a lot of us, it's like we see it more as content and part of his personality, but at the same time, he's open to and honest about it. He's like, get that money, get that bread. I just think that that's how celebrities and even influencers need to be more. Like, for example, if as somebody who wants to hopefully travel and have traveling be part of this channel, let's say I get a sponsor or a partner that makes clothing, right? I am not going to just take whatever's given to me. I'm going to only be open to what fits my style, my personality. Like I like wearing a lot of black. Like I'm wearing a Halloween shirt after New Year's. So I love Halloween, for example. So it's just, there's ways of doing it that make sense to you. And I think a lot of people need to do better about that.
Known example of this was his sponsorship with In-N-Out. On December 23rd,
that part's crazy. Yeah.
The Rock made an Instagram post about his first ever trip to In-N-Out. In it, he explained that he didn't know the lingo, didn't know who to pay, where to pay, didn't know shit. But he loved the grub and was thankful to In-N-Out for being so awesome. However, this was actually the third time The Rock had been to In-N-Out for the first time, because he'd made two other similar posts about the fast food chain back in 2022 and 2017.
Why this is history.
The people that were on his ass about this, though, can I say something? I never, how do I say it? Not that I've never, how do I say this? The way, so there's fans and then like how like deep dives, exposés, and like, you know what I mean? Like you usually get those guys when there's like real drama. I wouldn't say this was real drama, but the way people started digging as soon as he did this, was insane how quick people were like on his ass about lying about In and Out. The In and Out heads were were out that night. Oh no, we're home that night, I guess.
In the making is because this is the very first time that I have ever tried an In-N-Out burger or In-N-Out fries or anything from In-N-Out for that matter.
And you know what's funny is I hate the phrase "stop the cap." I think it's kind of corny, but literally this is the perfect example of where you should just be saying "stop the cap." Just stop. Just stop.
He was knowingly lying to his audience to better promote the product, or somehow he actually forgot twice, which would suggest he puts little thought or care behind what he sponsors, as long as they cut him a check. When reports came out accusing him of lying, he went back to the 2023 post and edited it, adding, "My first ever In-N-Out burger experience, again. Thanks to the fans who reminded me that I went to In-N-Out years ago and totally forgot about it. More than anything, The Rock wants to be liked, so he does everything in his power not to get on anyone's bad side, whether that's by trying to explain away a silly situation like In-N-Out, or by apologizing for something more serious, like when he asked the public for donations toward the Maui wildfires, rather than donating more himself."
Oh, well, they both got shit for this. This is what I don't understand. You have people who are multi-millionaires, and I'm not talking like 5, 10. I'm talking like 40, 400, 500, almost $500 million in this picture right here. I think isn't Oprah a billionaire? Let me look this up. This is gonna bother me if I don't do it right. Is Oprah billionaire? Yeah, she's a media mogul. Her net worth is 2.8 billion, but she's worth 4 billion as of 2 days ago. Which it doesn't mean that she has billions of dollars. It's just she owns media companies. So yeah, that makes sense. So you have like assets and shit like that. But still, this photo right here alone, these two people
1 week
could pay for this whole thing. If they really were cared and like was genuine about it, they could literally do that. But instead, they're like, "Nah, you got to pay for it. I just want the credit."
The public for donations toward the Maui wildfires, rather than donating more himself. One recent instance of him backtracking was related to the presidential endorsement he made in 2020.
I do feel that Vice President Biden and Senator Harris are the best choice to lead our country, and I am endorsing them to become president and vice president of our United States.
The Rock coming out and picking a side like that was unexpected, given how...
Which, if you learned from the 2024 election, a lot of these celebrities who were endorsing got like serious bags, which is crazy because the Kamala campaign raised almost over $1 billion, but were still ended up in debt afterwards. But all these celebrities came out quickly to endorse her, and they all got like 5, 10, 15 million.
Neutral he always tries to be. Unsurprisingly, he got a lot of backlash from his right-leaning fan base, and now in 2024 he's come out saying the endorsement was a big mistake. In April, he made an appearance on Fox News where he did a complete 180, saying that he won't be publicly endorsing a presidential candidate ever again.
I just thought, hey, our country feels like there's a lot of unrest. It feels like I would like things to calm down. Maybe we need a change. This is what I'm going to do, and this is who I'm going to endorse. The takeaway after that, months and months and months, I started to realize like, oh man, that caused an incredible amount of division in our country. So I realize now going into this election, I'm not going to do that. I wouldn't do that because my goal is to bring our country together. I believe in that in my...
And the irony too is like, imagine all these celebrities who endorsed Biden and Kamala for that election, just to see how terrible of a job they did. And then it's like, yeah, they kind of look like idiots now. So that's why if you saw this time around, the celebrities that were endorsing were the ones that got paid.
DNA. So in the spirit of that, there's going to be no endorsement. Not that I'm afraid of it at all, but it's just I realize that this level of influence, I'm going to keep my politics to myself.
Some saw this as a confession that he wants to vote red, but most saw it as The Rock simply protecting his business interests. The Rock isn't a right-leaning guy. He leans in the direction that gets him more exposure and money. Never forget that.
Yep. And then this is one of the things too, when the culture of, so I would say the average American at the moment is more right-leaning, but because of how aggressive the left was towards free speech, even just having a different opinion, you would get canceled. And how violent some of the things that they were saying and promoting terrorism and stuff like that, or not promoting terrorism, terrorist groups. And it's like most people, because of that, most people will lean to the right. But the thing is, celebrities like The Rock will always, always, always go where the mainstream is, and that is the left.
Dwayne isn't very good at hiding what's really important to him, and it can be seen during his explanation of why he's not endorsing anyone, as he just had to mention that he's the most followed American man on Instagram.
And back then, just like I am today, very lucky, I was then the most followed American man in the world, and I am today the most followed American man in the world, and I appreciate that.
If there's one thing The Rock promotes more than all his sponsors, it's himself.
But that's a good advice. That I don't want to ever knock him. I mean, I knock him for doing that. I think that's a good quality. I think that is the greatest thing a creator or an actor, a musician, anybody who's in the entertainment business can do, is promote themselves. But again, there's ways of doing it. You could do it like Shaq, where everyone still loves you and think it's funny that you're taking an insurance deal for the general insurance. It's funny. But at the same time, it's like, or you can do it like The Rock, where nobody likes you for that, because you're not being genuine about it.
At one point in the interviewer actually asked him a good question about whether he's addicted to people liking him, and his response didn't go down well with the viewers.
Oh shit!
If you're always pursuing and seeking people liking you,
Yeah,
then who are you but for the potential reflection of what they want you to be?
that's right. As you and I have talked about, if you ask me a direct question, I'm always going to give you a direct answer, whatever it is. And that's important to me. And authenticity, we hear that word a lot, but that's important to me. In today's easy cancel culture world, and cancel culture, woke culture, this culture, that culture, division, etc., that really bugs me. In the spirit of that, you either succumb and be what you think other people want you to be, or you go, well, no, that's not who I am. I'm going to be myself, and I'm going to be real. If you ask me something, a real answer is important, and the truthful answer is important, and that may get people upset, it may piss people off, and that's okay.
But he just said the opposite of what he just did. Okay, that is frustrating. So I'll say this, as somebody who isn't like the woke guy, isn't, even though I live in Seattle, I'm actually much more right-leaning person. The way you navigate like this woke culture and this cancel culture is simply just not engage in it. Like, that's unironically the way you engage with it is just get off the internet and just move on. Like, you just ignore these people. But it takes a lot of discipline to do that, right? Because it's just I know that we're not talking about The Rock right now, and I know we're talking about me, but what I'm saying is, as somebody who, I may not be popular, right? So it's much. I mean, you could be saying that that's easier for me to ignore and move on, and not take it so rough, right? As like somebody who's like super super popular. But I will say this: he, at the end of the day, he could retire. He already has enough money. He has everything he needs. He could retire. So for him, if he wanted to step away from the spotlight, he could. He has a way out. I do too, but it's not as rewarding for me because I'm not sitting on millions. You know what I mean? So I just think that like there is ways you can go about it to mitigate the effects, and the best way to do it is just not engage in it and just ignore it. Because as you see now that every America kind of feels like it's opened up, and it's kind of pushing and rejecting the things that we've been trying to reject for a long time. You could have you just had, it was a waiting game. All it was a waiting game.
Dwayne got slaughtered online for this. Fucking hell. Everything that comes out of this man's mouth is pure garbage. What a load of shite. Him lecturing anyone on authenticity is a joke. The fact that he essentially says, I won't speak up about what I believe in anymore, but then immediately pivots to, I believe in being your authentic self, is a paradox that perfectly sums up how inauthentic The Rock truly is, and a treasure trove for anyone writing future articles about him. Hollow is, as you said, the perfect way to put it, because the man is always playing every side and every angle.
And I think that's the thing too. He's doing it with the purpose of trying to come out on top. Always, he's always trying to win, which is funny because if you know his movie contracts, he can never lose. But I will say this too, as somebody like, for example, me, I make content, and when I don't know something, I make it very clear, and I come like that's why I have a lot. I'm surprised a lot of people actually like the videos that I make because I ask so many freaking questions because I just don't know, especially when it comes to the travel videos. I just don't know I'm not that informed of other countries. I'm trying my best to be, so I ask for people to be patient with me. I just don't know. But at the same time, it's like, I didn't have to do that, right? Like, I mean, I wanted to because I want to be genuine and open about it, but creators don't have to be that. People on the internet don't have to be that. I choose to because I know that why would I want to? There's no the benefit by hiding me not knowing something like this, like just me pretending to know something. All it does is deceive. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't. There's no real net benefit to it. Where to me, it's like, why would I lie to the audience? Why would I lie to you, the viewer, if I could just be on your, we can connect more, like, if that makes sense. By me just saying, hey, I don't know this, I'm asking a genuine question, not only is that better for everybody, but it keeps this weird situation like what The Rock's doing, and it avoids that entire problem of, oh, I gotta play every angle. Now obviously not every creator wants to be super more genuine, and they don't want to be genuine as somebody like me, right? I get it. But by being more genuine, you avoid all these problems. That's what I'm trying to say. By being more genuine, you will naturally and instinctively not care for trying to play every angle and trying to deceive people. Like, yeah. I hope that makes sense.
Hearing what people think about him now, it's crazy to think that just a few years ago, 46% of Americans said they'd vote for him if he ran for president. At this point, it's well known that The Rock cares about his public image more than anything. Almost all his film roles play him up in some way or another, whether that be by showing him to be charismatic, tough, funny, or brave. He meticulously manages every aspect of his on-screen persona, and often that results in him being overly controlling behind the scenes. For example, for many years, The Rock had a bitter feud with his Fast and Furious castmate, Vin Diesel. It started because The Rock didn't like how things were being run on set, and he made a play to take over.
Which at the funny, it's still, I think, just to give him credit, it was funny, the drama, because like, I like Vin Diesel, but he's still not that guy, okay? And the fact that like the memes of like, I need my muscles to be bigger, I need my muscles to be bigger than his, I'm actually taller than him, or like, you know what I mean? Like all the memes are like, yeah, it's just
funny. Not only did he impose his way of working on the crew, even though he was a later addition to the cast, but he did everything in his power to increase the importance of his character, Luke Hobbs. This involved pushing for more lines, more screen time, and more action scenes, and he ended up getting his way, even managing to have his own spin-off movie made called Hobbs and Shaw. He went from a side character to the main event, which in The Rock's book was a win, but his behavior along the way showed how much of a diva he can be. For one, he limited potential story arcs by insisting he never be made to look weak on screen. But worse, he made an Instagram post, obviously directed at Vin, saying this: "This is my final week of shooting Fast and Furious 8. There's no other franchise that gets my blood boiling more than this one. An incredible, hard-working crew. Universal has been great partners as well. My female co-stars are always amazing and I love them. My male co-stars, however, are a different story. Some conduct themselves as stand-up men and true professionals, while others don't. The ones that don't are too chicken shit to do anything about it anyway. Candy asses."
The fact that he put that line in there is just like typical Rock, but anyway.
When you watch the movie next April and it seems like I'm not acting in some scenes and my blood is legit boiling, you're right. Posting this wasn't a good look, and The Rock quickly realized that and deleted it. But even now,
I just don't understand. This is not his, that wasn't his franchise. That wasn't his. Go make your own. That's I hate saying that, but like, if he has that much power and influence in Hollywood, why didn't he go make his own? Why didn't he go produce his own, like his own set of franchises, like his own franchise, action franchise? Like for example, Sylvester Stallone did The Expendables, which got 3 movies, which are all really, really, really good. They're not crazy story. You're just watching it for the action. But it got 3 movies, and he said, "You know what? I'm gonna do this," and he got a lot of stars in it, so that was really cool.
Now, several years later,
Which I wonder, is The Rock in that one? Oh, he's not. I wonder why.
he's still doing strange and unprofessional things. The Rock recently filmed a movie called Red One.
Ooh, this is so the only thing I don't like about him that I actually care about is how he does his movie contracts and how much he gets paid.
Christmas film with a star-studded cast and massive budget. In April of this year, reports came out about his conduct on set, and it ranged from concerning to downright weird. According to a report by The Wrap, The Rock would regularly show up 7 to 8 hours late to set, which apparently resulted in a $50 million increase.
And what's funny is when you actually look at some of the interviews, this guy lies about being there early.
In the movie's production budget. Arguably worse though was what he would do when he was there. Dwayne apparently drinks a lot of water, which makes him need the toilet a lot. But instead of going to the bathroom like any normal person, he deals with this problem another way. On set, away from his trailer, if he needs to pee, he doesn't go to the public bathroom. He pees in a Voss water bottle and his team or PA has to dispose of it. Last month, Dwayne did an
I don't know if I believe that one. But then again, Hollywood actors, they're doing some weird shit. They just be weird. But I don't know if I believe that one.
interview with GQ where he was asked about this, and he admitted that it's all true.
I pee in a bottle, yeah, that happens.
That does happen. What about the late part of that story?
Yeah, that happens too.
Really? Okay.
But not that amount, by the way. That was a bananas amount.
It's hard to understand why he
I try to give him the benefit of the doubt. I ate my words on that one. I'm speechless. I don't know what to say.
He can't just use a toilet like everyone else does, especially since peeing in a bottle is so unhygienic. But I guess he doesn't care
Hygienic. You mean hygienic?
as long as his assistants take care of it for him. The truth is, it's been a habit he's had for a long time, and he's even spoken about it proudly in the past.
This is called desert sand. It's a badass color, never seen before on the market in a training shoe. And I just realized you just saw my big bottle of pee. And I just realized.
And look, there's another one right there.
You just saw my big bottle of pee. Look, I go hardcore when I train. I don't have time to go to the bathroom. I find a bottle, I pee in it, and I keep training like a beast.
Bottle.
The reasoning of his gym not having a toilet obviously doesn't apply on the set of a movie.
I just don't. Why not have a restroom? Like, I just don't when I used to do cross country and in high school, and then I did college volleyball, men's volleyball, believe it or not, I was much skinnier, much more fit and athletic. I had to take a shit all the time. My metabolism was like crazy. I just I don't know how people do it. I just don't understand how we do it. Now I understand truck drivers, right? They be doing it because just sometimes you can't. There's no restroom nearby where you're at. But I do want to say the video's almost done. I want to say this before. I don't know if he's gonna bring this up. One of the things I never liked about The Rock, that it's very, very clear that he does, is that he always gives himself a lot of money. He always requests too much money for his role. So much so that the reports were that he got paid $50 million out of a $250 million movie. Let me rephrase that. He got paid $50 million out of a $250 movie. That's like 1/5 of the entire budget. I was trying to do 1/5 of the entire budget is just him. For what? What did he? For just being in the movie, he thinks he's gonna generate at least $50 million, which doesn't make any sense to me. And this is why it frustrates me, because he's dooming movies to fail. It's kind of like the same thing that's happening with video games right now. you're making the movie way too expensive, so the line they got to cross to make a profit is exponentially more high, $50 million more high, for example. Whereas somebody like Dave Bautista, he's taken on lower paid roles to get that recognition. And that being one was a Blade Runner. He didn't get paid as much as everybody else on that movie, but he has one of the coolest roles in Blade Runner 2077. Was it Blade Runner, the one with Ryan Gosling? I don't remember the number, but it's just Blade Runner, right? And it's like he was like really acting in it. He was showcasing his talent. That's what I don't understand. It's like actors, real actors will sometimes say, you know what? I want to be a part of this and I don't want to doom the movie to fail. Take, for example, Tom Cruise. He makes a lot of money, but at the same time, he's like, I'm doing my own stunts. I'm doing all this other shit, and I'm doing everything I can to make sure people are getting paid, and I'm gonna try. He knows he's gonna make that much money back. You see what I'm saying? Like, but it's like his movies. That's his franchise. He owns it. In the same way, like Daniel Craig, he says, I am James Bond. I established this franchise. I'm gonna put in the work to make sure this is the best it can. This is not his franchise. Realistically, it's the red one. It just started. It wasn't successful, so now it's not his. You know what I mean? Like, it's just. And then he got Black Adam, and he ruined that. Which is funny because he was campaigning for that. He would have been the perfect role for Black Adam if he actually put in the effort, but he didn't, and all he did was ask for a lot of money and ruin the franchise.
So in reality, he probably just does it because he likes to. Dwayne's habits on set aren't the only reason he's made news for Red One. He's been getting mocked all over the internet for comments he made during the promotion of the movie, comparing it to Oppenheimer.
He said, "With Red One, our intention was to make a movie that you can enjoy on the biggest screen possible. Legitimately, the biggest screens possible. Well, they're IMAX. I was midway through shooting Red One. I had an opportunity to go watch Oppenheimer, and I watched it in the IMAX theater where Christopher Nolan watches and screens his movies, him and Emma, his wife. I even asked, let me sit where Chris is sitting. So they said Chris sits here to enjoy the movie. So I sat where Chris sat. I watched Oppenheimer. It was amazing. But I was thinking, holy shit, this thing, Red One on this screen with this technology can be game over. I remember texting Jake, and I sent him a picture first of my bare chest, and then I sent him a picture of the screen. We just had a great conversation afterwards about just how cool it's going to be. It's going to be very cool."
You know how expensive IMAX is for a movie? As somebody, I know a little bit about film. IMAX movies are expensive just because the cameras alone and all the film that you're using, and it's just, it takes, and then like even having to like how loud IMAX cameras are, there's so much more, it's much more expensive, and there's so much more extra work like on top of the work that you're already doing for a film just to make an IMAX movie good. So it's like, that is why, ironically, if you see the people who do IMAX movies, they only do IMAX because realistically they're the only ones that are good at it. So, but I don't know, he just didn't mention the part where The Rock takes a huge cut of the movie, dooming the movie to fail because the movie's exponentially more expensive suddenly.
Wowee, what a story. A thrilling tale indeed.
Either The Rock is completely delusional, or he wants people to ridicule him, because comparing Red One or any of his projects to Oppenheimer is madness. Now, what he said sounds even worse, because Red One still hasn't recouped its costs after over a month in theaters.
It only recouped $175 million globally. All right, so let's take it. Let's take that 175. I'm pulling up a calculator right now, right? Let's pull it up. So it made 175 million minus 50. So it only made 125. So out of that 125, 50 million was on The Rock. Or out of that 175, 50 mil. You see how hard of a jump now everything has to be? Ridiculous. Ridiculous. I can't stand this guy. If I see him in a movie, I will not watch it.
The more time passes, the worse it feels like The Rock gets. For someone who wants so badly to be loved, he keeps shooting himself in the foot over and over. At this point, it doesn't look like he's ever going to recover the goodwill he had in the past.
Yeah, he cashed in too much too quickly. But yeah, I think this is a fantastic video. I can go on and on about the movies that he's ruined. But I think the point still stands. You just there's a lot of things you can do to mitigate hate online, but at the same time, like, you can't just, rake step or shoot yourself in the foot over and over again. Like, that's probably the best way not to end up in the crosshairs. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, if you're watching me, let's have an interview. Let's talk. Maybe I can revive your career. No, just kidding. Maybe I can steer you in the right direction and point you in the direction that you need to go. Maybe I'll find the project for you because it's clear it's not working out in the Hollywood scene. Anyway, if you like these videos, thanks so much. I appreciate you. Love you. Bye.